Raw drama Wednesday night at Old Trafford as Man United and Leeds United drew 2-2. It's been a busy week for Leeds. Monday morning they fired Jesse Marsch, and then that trio of caretakers in charge for the trip to Old Trafford. And then Sunday they're going to face Man United again. As mentioned, the game Wednesday wasn't televised, but luckily Amatai Winehouse of The Athletic did see it and is here with us now. Amatai, thank you so much for being with us. Tell us all about the game.
It was quite interesting. I thought that Leeds deserved to be ahead based on the first 30 minutes or so. Manchester United very much came back into it.
Leeds were kind of ahead based on the first 30 seconds or so.
30 seconds or so, yeah. I mean, it's no surprise that Willy Gnonto is the superstar of the team. He's 19 years old and is driving that team towards safety, I want to say, but maybe more towards the chance of safety. His goal was brilliant. I thought that after half-time, Leeds came out again and were quite impressive and, I'm not going to say deserved to score a second, but played in a way that allowed them to score a second goal. But I thought that the moment Weghorst went off and Ten Hag shuffled that front three and played sort of a more dynamic front three, I felt like it was very obvious that Manchester United were going to score and potentially turn the game around. I thought Leeds did very well to actually draw that game in the end.
Okay. And you got them again on the weekend.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate the second half continuing on into the clash at Ellen Road, or is it a fresh start?
It's an interesting question because I was thinking if Weghorst starts, I feel like I'm being overly harsh on him, but he was actually fairly anonymous for the 60 or so minutes he was on the pitch. I feel as though if he were to start again, it would potentially allow Leeds to have another chance to I don't know, attack, have like a good game against Manchester United. If they play that front three that they ended with, which was Sancho on the left, Rashford on through the middle, and either Garnacho or Pellistri on the right, I would say that Manchester United have a much better chance of winning at Ellen Road. So I think Leeds have a chance. It would be interesting whether a new manager is in and whether there's a different style of play. But yeah, I think a lot comes down to the way that Ten Hag sets his team up.
All right. The point, in the meantime, has moved you 1 point clear of that. I say you. Has moved Leeds. Has moved Leeds United 1 point clear of the bottom three. And after this week's aborted attempts to bring in Carlos Corberán, former Bielsa assistant, and then high-flying Rayo Vallecano head coach Andoni Iraola, where do we stand for who's going to be in charge on Sunday?
Well, based on what Phil Hay reported for The Athletic this morning, it does sound as though Iraola's still the first-choice candidate. The way that it was reported is that Leeds are at a bit of a standstill when it comes to trying to hire him. Victor Orta, the director of football, flew out to Spain to try and convince him to move. It sounds as though Vallecano are not keen to let him go, which is pretty understandable considering how he's doing in the job. Victor Orta's flown back, no deal in place. The other candidate that's been mentioned is Arne Slot, the Feyenoord manager, and there's been discussions about moving for him instead.
Right. He's also going to be, I'm guessing, reluctant to leave because he's top of the Eredivisie right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it shows the market that Leeds are trying to operate in. And I guess the point that, again, Phil Hay made in his piece this morning is that actually it's quite an impressive... If you saw last night, as a manager, you might be like, there's something to work with here.
Yeah, fair enough. Rafa Benitez is available. Ralph Hasenhüttl as well. Alan Kirbishy, if you like, as well.
Howard Wilkinson, technically.
Yeah.
Should they not have sorted this out before getting rid of Jesse Marsch, or was it super urgent that they got rid of the man they called Yank Lampard?
I think with Marsch, it was the way that the club had been acting in the months prior to his sacking suggested that he was not going to get sacked anytime soon. I think that if you ask a lot of people who have an affinity for Leeds, he could have gone in October. Leeds lost at Leicester, the away end turned very badly on him and the way that the team had played, and it would have been very easy for the board to get rid of him because results weren't there. They stuck with him, they signed the players he wanted, and players that suited his playing style as well. They brought Chris Armisen, who was part of the caretaker trio last night, and and everything was pointing towards, you know what, as long as results turn around, this guy's going to stay in charge. Then Nottingham Forest happened, and I think that performance was scary if you're concerned about Leeds being relegated, because it was so poor against a team who are also in that situation. Results have been very poor. That I think that on Monday, I'm not saying they jumped and pulled the trigger, but if they were erring on the side of keeping Marsch, that performance probably turned them. And that's probably why, rather than having a succession plan in place, which was the case when Bielsa was sacked, that's probably why they are now not scrambling around, because it's clearly they have something of a plan, but it's why they've not managed to hire someone on the same day, which is what happened when Bielsa left.
That's true. And in the meantime, they did pick up a quite handy point, probably, away at Old Trafford, and the performance was better.
Yeah. I don't think there was a particular shift in terms of playing style. I think that more than anything, they just removed some of the restrictions that Marsch put in place as a manager. His style was very, very strange, probably summed up by the fact that a few weeks ago he gave an interview in which he referred to the reason why he didn't use width being that the goal is in the middle at the end of the
Logic.
It's very like playground logic, isn't it?
It's like position of maximum opportunity style logic that I didn't even realise that existed.
Well, I always thought with Marsch, and this is a really weird comparison, but I always thought, having seen both of them manage, his playing style was very similar to like a Neil Warnock. It was very narrow. It was very get the ball long, try and win it in the position of maximum opportunity. Rather than playing up the pitch, you win it back up the pitch. Last night, there was like a noticeable difference in terms of the width and the willingness to have Gnonto stay out wide and Somerville. And also, during the first half, a graphic flashed on screen which showed the action areas and the areas where Leeds attacked were the wings, which hasn't been happening under Marsch. So actually, the playing style was almost as if they'd just gone, you know what, we can't change that much in the space of 2 days, but we can say, let's play wider, let's play with more width, let's try and use the wings. And to be honest, it worked.
Brilliant. All right, well, Man United again. We'll see if it works this time. At Ellen Road, Leeds haven't beaten Man United in any competition since 2010, so victory would be quite a coup for the trio in charge. Amatai, thank you so much for popping in. The Totally Football Show podcast is available 3 times a week, bringing you all the football news you could reasonably be expected to care about. We've got views, we've got stats, we've got analysis, we've got some of the best football writers around, and the whole thing is absolutely free. So have a listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or all the usual places by clicking on the link below.